Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is I, Hidden Flame, and this is supposed to be day 3 of my Advent Calendar. Now, the game is called Girl's Diary, and it's supposed to take place during Christmas time, so... And it's a horror game. So...
Да что вы за пионеры, если товарища спасти не можете?
Some prisoners you are. You can't even help a comrade in need.
Оно приближается.
It's closing in.
Снова этот кошмар.
Nightmare again.
Столько времени прошло, а до сих пор снится тот лагерь. И Слава, и остальные.
But I still see the camp in my dream, and Selva, and the others. Night after night I go through the same day in my dreams, and I cannot change a thing. I won't be able to sleep until morning.
Тонькины записки.
It's all because of
Помню,
Tanya's
как она
notes.
носилась по всему лагерю, выспрашивая новые страшилки.
I like her voice.
Если бы я знала, что эта тетрадь может спасти нас. Среди обычных страшилок Тоня написала целый рассказ. Даже меня туда засунула. Правда, под другим именем. Студеным январским вечером в санатории-пансионате собралась пестрая компания.
Options. Oh, okay, well there's... Okay. Put that away. Everything ready? Everything is ready. Come down. I'd rather read a book in my room. Let's go, Ola, please. Fine. Hey! Looks like someone dressed up tonight. It's none of your business, Sasha. Why don't you ask Lisa why she has put on so much makeup? She always does, but you, whatever, go light the candles. You got it, boss. I'll go get more candy. Way to go, sweet tooth. Sweet taste buds, sweet character. Kids are kids. Hey Sasha, isn't it bedtime already? Not yet. Let her stick around for a while. Let's Blast, we got company. Who's there? It's us. Who's us? Open up, Vera. It's freezing out here. Vera? I've asked him to come. Right? It's gonna be more fun this way. Vera! Idiot. Vera, dear, you should have warned us. Whoa, this place is cool. We even have a fireplace. That's a guy? Looks like a girl. Hey, girls. Ooh, my heartthrob. These are Satis and Diopa. Play sports together. Quit standing around and say hi. Ooh, that music is a bit loud. Let's drop it some more. Hi. Hi. It's your fault. Oh, Were there not enough rooms in the hotel for you meatheads? No big deal. What was that paper mistake? You were forced to go along with your group. Take your coats off, boys. Girl, why did they come? Take it easy, Sasha. I'll rip their heads off if they mess up. But now the ritual won't work. How come? No boys allowed. I should have known. Come on, think of something. Oh, I'm out of here. Oh, look, please, stay with us. Stas, sit there. Stiopa, start a fire. Should I? Of course. Hey, Styles, what kind of sports are you into? We do sambo. You should watch us sparring it sometime. It's more exciting than karate. Embarrassed, are we? Let me introduce you, my friend. This is Lisa. My full name is Elisaveta, but I'm used to being called Lisa. Hi. Hi. This is Sasha. She's our class president. Don't let her confuse you. She's tough, but friendly. Fair dear, why are you talking? You are way talkative tonight. Pleased to meet you, Stassi. Pleased to meet you, Stassi. I do a female Russian. So am I. And that's Olivia over there. She's the quiet type. That dress fits you, Olivia. Of course it fits me, it's my dress. Okay. And that's Nastya Meyer. Is it your bedtime yet? Nope. Are you in love with Vera, Stas? What? Fire started. Quit fooling around and sit down already. Sit with me. Me and... Hey, what's going on? We're going to summon the Queen of Spades, but we are not supposed to do that until midnight. The Queen of Spades? Hold on, you told me you were going to tell fortunes. Do you like telling scary story, guys? Why not? Uh-oh. Awesome! I know a good one. Wow. Who's gonna start? How about you, Lisa? Are you ready? Always ready. Story about the Black Veil. I've heard that one. No, that was another one. And don't interrupt me, please. Begin. Black bedsheet. Okay, the story is about the Black Veil. I heard it from a boy who heard it from a girl who was in the camp where it happened. So this is the story is true. There was a girl in the camp. Her name was Yana. She was tall, slim, and braid down to the heels. Her skin was soft, her lips were red and like corals, and her eyes were big and shiny like a forest lake's on a summer's day. A real knockout. The entire half of the camp boys were into her, even some camp leaders, but they were nothing to her. Yana only used them while they were happy to satisfy every single whim of hers. Some of the boys even fought for her. She had been reported eventually, but the teachers put the wool over their eyes for her. It only took one guilty face to make a clean getaway. And that was it. No one said a word. She changed boyfriends like socks. Some of them got lucky to... you got me. What? I didn't. Shush, runt. Also, there was a couple in the camp. They were so deep in love they couldn't live apart. Every spare moment they had, they spent together. When the Belle had found out about them, she was looking to steal the boyfriend. Then she was waiting for the right moment, and it happened to be a dance party in the camp. Yana was dressed in a satin dress as dark as the moonless night and high heels. She decorated her braids with a scarlet bow. Everyone made it wait for her. All the boys wanted to dance with her, but she was way out of their league. The time of the ladies' choice dance had come. She asked him for a dance, and then she seduced him. He couldn't resist her, so Yana snatched him up. But his girlfriend followed them, and she found them... Well, you got me. I didn't. Making out. Ew. Shut up, you all. That's how it was. The next morning, the camp leaders were counting children and found 2 of them missing. The 2 were the girl and her boyfriend. They were looking for them, and when they found the boy lying in the valley with his bones broken as if he was grasped with a giant hand. And the girl was found too, hung on a tree. There was a note under the tree, but it was written in what was kept a secret. Chaos reigned in the camp. Neither the police nor the ambulance nor the fire department could make any sense of what happened. But I thought, ow, stop hitting me, Vera. Shut up already. What happened to the pretty girl? Ouch. Shush. And then the children were disappearing. They were found in the forest, dead, either suffocated to death or with their bones broken. Just the way it happened to the boy. Another strange thing was that before the children died, just like the little boy, they made Lisa. Got it, didn't you? The camp leaders were on watch every night, but the children kept on disappearing right from their beds. Scared parents began taking their children back home. The principal had a heart attack. Moreover, the rest of the children stayed up all night hoping to catch the murderer. When the clock counted 12, they saw a window swing open and a black veil flew through it. It grabbed a sleeping kid, tied him up, and took him outside. Everything happened so fast that only one boy managed to hit the veil with the stick. After the stolen boy was found dead the next morning, the eldest camp leader confessed what was in the note. There was a curse written in it. The suicide girl cursed the entire camp, but no one believed the curse was real. Although they should have, the girl turned out to be a gypsy. The camp leaders had examined the children, and they found a huge bruise on Yana's hand. They had searched her clothes and found Yana wrapped into the black veil. They beat her to death right away and incinerated her body in a fire. No one ever went missing again. Ever since then, the locals believe that from time to time, the pretty girl in black coming to a dance party attempting to steal some girl's boyfriend. And if she succeeds, the boy is never found. I would go out with the black veil. What a moron. Who's next? My turn. Of course, I'm going to tell you the story of the red teeth. Again? You tell it all the time. Because the story is legit. Aunt Zena had been in the camp when she saw it with her own eyes. If you had already heard it, why don't you go to bed, huh? Me. Tell it. Me and Sasa never heard it. It happened long time ago when Auntie Zena was a girl studying at primary school. It happened. One summer she went to a camp which was far, far away from home. And one of these days something terrifying happened there. Some had stolen all the food from the camp, every single bit of it, including breadcrumbs. The principal went out to get food at the local city at once, which was far, far away from the camp, while the children were left with no food for the rest of the day. Those who had brought food had to share it with their roommates, but most of them had nothing to eat at all, so they drank more water in order to full their stomachs. Imagining how big the line at the restroom was. Having no food for a day? Child's play. Easier said than done. Don't interrupt her. Keep going. So Auntie Zena had to go, number one, but all the restrooms were occupied. She headed to nearby bushes, and after she sat down, she heard a weird noise, like a dog was chewing on a bone. She sneaked up to the bushes and saw a girl eating something. Auntie Zena shouted at the girl. As she turned, she saw the girl. The red teeth! Oh. Clasps her hands. It turned out that the girl had found a pack of cranberry jelly and wanted to have it all for herself in the bushes. Her nickname was Red Teeth until the end of camp. And who stole the food? I don't know, and Xena never told him. Nice job. Quite a scary tale. That's a good one. It's a troll. I am, but I must warn you, the story's so scary I couldn't sleep for a whole month after I heard it. What a wimp. The story about the Black Hand. The very same? Precisely. My classmate was there. He saw the Black Hand. He went with me. And he was I can speak. And he wouldn't lie about that. 2 years ago, my friend David went to a camp. Only the ace students from all over the country could be in the camp. David? Yes, David Shipleston. Do you know him? No? Why do you go there? I didn't want to. Not worth much, I see. What? So, the camp was surrounded by a tall fence. Guards were on watch 24/7. No intruder had the chance to get inside. The adults kept outnumbered the children. All of a sudden, things started going missing around the camp. It was small at first. Badges, candies, pins and crayons. No one cared, but it was normal not to return things amongst geniuses. But then money, books, even clothes were disappearing. Only then they realized that there was a thief and made a band of thieves, or maybe a band of thieves, working in the camp. For not only children had been robbed, but adults as well. Guards had been trying to catch the thieves at first, but once they failed, they called the police. The police had been staying in the camp for a week, setting traps, interrogating the staff, but to no avail. Meanwhile, stealing continued. One day, guys from the troop had found a way to reveal the perp. They secretly rigged up a TV camera and set it up in their room. No one else knew it was there. They placed a wallet in front of the camera and hid it in the next room and watched the TV. They had been waiting for a long time and got tired of keeping watch. They got interrupted and missed the moment the wallet was stolen. It had been there just a moment ago. The next night they installed a recorder in the room with the camera. In the morning they placed the video game instead of the wallet and got back to their activities. In the evening the video game was gone. The recorded they watched showed that a black hand appeared from nowhere, taking the game and vanishing into thin air. The guys ran out looking for the adults, leaving one of them to guard the camera. But once the police came back along with the guys, the recording was gone. The camera was broken and the boy was dead, with black fingerprints all over his neck. The police didn't believe the boys, suspecting them as the murderers. The boys were arrested and driven in 2 separate rooms. But the next morning, they were found dead, with black fingerprints on their necks as well. The entire police department had to assemble in the camp. Scared parents were taking their children home, while those kids who stayed tried not to be alone. The stealing didn't stop. Now it was furniture, chairs, shelves, even couches. The Black Hand had gone mad and was stealing everything. When a girl went missing, 3 of her friends from the chemist club got up to take revenge on the Black Hand. They built a bomb, planted it in a drawer, and asked David to install a detonator so it would trigger the drawer was open. There was nothing to it. All he had to do was... Whatever, what was that? In a couple of days, they heard the underground explosion somewhere in the camp. excavators had been brought. They dug holes and found an abandoned bomb shelter stuffed with all the stolen things. And in the middle of the explosion, they found a piece of equipment and a boy's body torn apart with the explosion. Identification was hardly possible. His hands were black with paint. The boy's body were taken away by the military, as well as the equipment. They promised that no one would ever tell a thing. What? My candies are gone. The Black Hand took them. Relax. You ate them yourself while you were listening. Really? I didn't see that coming. Boy, you're noisy. Fine. Now you're going to listen. Hold on. It's Olga's turn now. How come? How? Because we don't have any more candy. Does it have to do something with candy? Ignorance is bliss. Begin. Wow, I'm trying to do this as quick as I can. Okay. There is an abandoned pioneer camp in the nearby forest, fenced with a barbed wire, rotten by time. It used to be the biggest camp in the area until a mind-bending thing happened there, so the people fenced the camp with a couple of lines of the wire and forgot about the camp forever. However, I found a camp leader's diary in our library. I wonder why I was the first one who found it. I shouldn't tell what is written in it, but I can't resist telling you. It's gonna make me insane if I don't. Hands off. But this is one that's real spooky. Then why don't you give what's his name a hug? Styopa? He is already getting it. Come to us, Sag. I can hug the both of you. Third thing. I feel fine here. Suit yourself. The diary belonged to Oksana. Oksana. It's Oksana for now. The leader of the first troop. The record said everything was right for the first half of the camp. Children were having a good time, falling in love and breaking apart. Oksana herself had fallen in love with the camp leader of the third squad, but the feelings weren't mutual. Half the diary is full of poems about her one-way love and sketches of the one she was into. But it changes in the second half. Just listen. All it takes a book with a rabbit sticker and drawn flowers on it. The 20th of July. The terrible heat continues. Aston asked me to take his squad to the lake before I take mine, and I couldn't refuse. Man, he was so handsome when he smiles. My squad wasn't happy though. I let them go off and half-hour past curfew. We have a situation. Dasha Startsvana has been missing since morning. Her stuff is in place, and Katya told me she saw Dasha last night going to the bathroom. We found Dasha. She fell into an old well behind the warehouse. To my surprise, she was safe and sound when we took her out. A lucky girl. On the other hand, she hadn't said a word ever since. I hope she was fine. She must rest in the infirmary. Irid Polonova called Dasha's parents a lot, but no one answered. During the lineup, Ashen lectured me on how to look for the children. I was about to burst into tears. Why is he being so rude to me? The 22nd of July. Petrovich and the guys from the 5th squad built a huge cover over the well. It's finally safe. Dasha is not speaking yet, just laying in her bed silent. Maria spoon feeds her. Aridia lets no one out of the camp, including Anton. whose grandmother passed away yesterday, 23rd of July. We're going to see Dasha today. We made a wonderful bouquet for her and a card with our best wishes written on it. Something is wrong with Anton. He had a quarrel with the principal this morning. The rest of it was written in a different hand. All of a sudden, I felt like I was out of my body, watching myself from a different viewpoint. I heard a blunt slam as he pushed me right into the well. It doesn't hurt though, but I feel sad. A green bright spot in the sky reflects in the puddle on the bottle. I can see it coming. A shooting star, I think. Should I make a wish? The spot shines even brighter. The green sparkle is closing on me with the speed of a sound. It stings me and casts me back into my body. Now it's the two of us in the body, me and the star. The pain is back, and my neighbor doesn't like it. The little green sparkle starts beating the way my heart does. It's growing inside my body, filling every single cell as if it was an empty vase. The vase is all cracked, however. The green light is getting loose through it. The star bangs in anger and riffs on my body, and the rifts on my body fade away like snow under the sunshine. I feel so good I curl into a ball right in the humid, stinking hole. Too bad I can't see my companion. I can only feel it burning in my chest. The star wants me to get out of the pit, but I don't care. The only thing I want is oblivion. The star is not giving in. It's thrashing around inside, and I pity it. It warmed me at first, but just a moment ago, it moved up to my shoulder out of the shrunken part of my body. How unlucky it got. I can't stand. I see a small shard of sky above me. Now it's being blocked by some figure. And now it's not. This flickering annoys me, so I close my eyes. I feel something taking me up, awakening old memories I'm hiding from. All of this happened to someone but me, while I was being a spectator. The show is about to end, and now it's a fireball instead of a tiny star growing bigger inside me. It's not a friendly companion any longer, but a gruesome warden watching over me. He forces me to eat, causing pain in my stomach. He forces me to go to the bathrooms, stinging my feet. The rest of the time, it lets me rest obliviously. The fireball isn't growing bigger anymore. Now it is training my body to follow its commands instead. And I do as it commands willingly, otherwise the fire will burn me out. All I need right now is a little bit of rest. Right now, the fire bends down my neck. A nurse comes in. She drops her tray with the plates on it, so porridge and blueberries scatter on the floor. The fire flashes up, and I see a beam of green light striking Maria. The nurse comes out with the beam while the beam is tracing her. I look at the little flies gathering around the porridge as long as my companion is playing with his new toy. The entire council enters my ward. The camp leader, along with a girl from my squad, carefully goes around the mess, whispering. I see both Oksana's pitiful face and the fear seizing the others. They look at me as if I am an exponent of Kunstkamera. Their words are full of false sympathy. Their presence disgusts me. The keen rays of the green pierce into their heads, swift and silent. Then they go back from the room, kicking the scattered plates and trampling the blueberries. The flies are back again for their feast. Dong! One of the rays scattered around with a melodic jingle. Right away, the peacefully I'm dreaming Fireball has woken up. He's throwing me off the bed. I go out of the infirmary, unable to resist his presence, but I don't want to. Dozens and hundreds of rays are following me along the way, right to the targets they only can know as I follow the way my star shows me. I slowly make my way around the camp while the green rays fill the air with their shine. Ding, 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 dong. All of a sudden, the rays are breaking apart, which are so spectacular and beautiful. What the hell did I just do? I don't know. Oh, that's a right click. And beautiful that I stop to look at the fire. At the fire is of no longer interest to me anymore. I look at the world around me, illuminated by the green emerald light. Alas, the number is running out. It is a dozen of them now. The fire grows wilder. I burn out, and I am reborn from the ashes, only to burn out again. I am the phoenix. My clothes have already turned into dust. My walk leaves only smoking footprints and charred grass behind me. I come to the gates and I see him. He lies scratching at the ground, trying to escape the camp. The beam connects us. The beam that connects us is barely pulsing, about to scatter. I come closer and wait. Now it's finally going to leave. Nothing but a green sparkles on the floor as he freezes. The flame pushes me ahead, but I am in no hurry to leave. Why me? What have I done to you? What did I do wrong? I ask the dead body, and it's not about to answer. The pressure is getting unbearable, so I leave. I try crying, but the tears fade as fast as they leave my eyes. Whispering its goodbye tune, the last beam shattered in the middle of the alley, leading to the square. I want to lie down, but the firestorm keeps pushing me ahead. We approach the pioneer horn-blown statue, then to the peddler girl. Finally, a gigantic monument of linen gets my attention. I stretch my hand to it as if the fiery gush of light absorbed by the statue. I follow the path to the woods out of the camp, leaving only dead people and the glowing monument of the chief behind. The only things that I kept are this diary and the little star deep down in my heart. That's it. Boring. Ola, how did you manage to read in the darkness? Ugh. It's empty. Hee. Oh, okay. Asleep already? Yep. If only your stories were more interesting, you would make a fine writer, but your tales kill us with boredom. Huh. Finally, it's time for a real scary story, not one of your knockoffs. Prepare to tremble in fear, for now you will hear about the red eyes. Oh dear, this may not be good. There was a trio in the camp. They never split up. Their leader's name was Max, but everyone called him the Beast. There was a reason for that. Oh crap. There was a reason for that. If you accidentally bumped him in the shoulder during a walk, he would tear you apart like a pit bull. Look at him the wrong way, and you're as good as dead. Even his friends used to get it. Fortunately, they were strong enough to settle him down. There were tough guys too, used to keep the entire camp at bay. But no one would report them, because the Beast would take care of it. No one would say words against them, and the trio was having fun. In short, the guys on the road to success, but they failed. Because of whom? Because of a girl, of course. There was a lass in the camp, whose name was Vera, whose name was Lena. Once upon a time, Max had seen this Lena girl doing exercises. What do you think? Was she a gymnast? Not some bookworm. Or she was a gymnast, not a bookworm. And the beast was lost. He couldn't get her out of his head. Not even food was an option. He asked her on a date that evening. And she was like, I would love to, but there is a problem. What problem? Your friends never leave me alone. Make them. The beast accepted the deal and left. He didn't even notice her eyes blazing with crimson fire, following him. All that night he was rolling in the bed, sleepless, and the next morning he had to talk with his friends. Are you okay? They said. We've never met this Lena before. Max chilled out and went back to Lena that evening. You were wrong, he said. My friends have nothing to do with you. Lena was, don't you trust me? They came this morning, threatening to beat me down if I were to meet you again. It's up to you who to be with. The beast left with pain in his heart and unnoticing the red fire burning in Lena's eyes. The next morning he set off to his friends. Dang it, beast, they said. We were with you all day. How have you seen someone? Have you seen us threatening someone? Who do you trust more, us or a stranger? But the beast was blinded by love, so he promised that he would kill everyone who touched her. In the evening, he came back and saw Lena. Look, Max, look what your friends did to me. She untied her shirt. As he saw the red bruises on Lena's pale skin, frenzy filled his mouth. I'll take care of them, he shouted. Wait! Len caught his hands. You have already broken your promise. This time, I need proof. Bring me their hearts. And she put a blade in his hand. The beast was about to throw it away, but she leaned on him and kissed him. I am waiting until midnight. Now go. And Max was off, with Len's eyes following him, shining brighter than the Kremlin star in twilight. The beast waited until everyone was asleep. He snuck into the cabin, stabbed his friend in the chest. He came to the second one and stabbed him as well. That's how his friends died. Max cut their hearts out of their chests, wrapped them in a shirt, and went back to Lena. Did you bring it? Lena impatiently asked Max as she saw him closing in. He handed the hearts over to Lena and she took them. She turned away for a second and then turned back and the hearts were gone. Only a blood drop on Len's lips remained. Max was going to hug Len, but she pushed him back. What's wrong? The beast exclaimed. I have done as you asked. Do you really think, the girl indignantly said, that I am going out with a murderer of his own friends? But you've been beaten. I faked it. It was testing how good a friend you are. Now beat it. The words turned the beast back to reality. He knocked Lynn dead and stabbed her with the blade. Again and again, but the blade didn't work against her. Only then did the beast see the shiny crimson eyes of his girlfriend. That scared the crap out of him. He backed away, but Lynn took his and said, Where do you think you're going? Come here and hug me harder. She said while disappearing into the ground. Max tried to set himself free, but he couldn't. And Lynn was already halfway underground, and she was taking him along with her. Max gathered his strength, took the blade, and cut his hand off to break free of Lynn, who disappeared into the ground with his hand. Max stopped the bleeding with a handkerchief and headed to turn himself. Did he do his time? Nah, he was gone from his cell the next day. Only a letter with the blood he left said, "The red eyes." Cool story, Vera. Oh, big time. And tell us something, Psyopa. Me? I can't. Why? Why did you even come? To make a company? It's okay, you're not supposed to be a storyteller after all. You must be really strong instead, aren't you? I am, yes. Fine, I'll tell one. The one? I think so. Oh, all this reading? Yes, it gives me creeps all the time. When I was in a camp, it turned out the way the camp's leader's assistant, so I did her work often. I was used to being busy. Besides, being bossy was fun. It was troublesome, of course, but I earned a lot of respect from the others that way. Among the others, only Vera dared to challenge me. I'm better in a fair fight anyway. We already tried it out. Should I remind you? I just wasn't prepared back then. I had exercise with the muscles and stuff. Okay, you are stronger. That's it. Back to some chat. Back then, some chatterbox told me that Vera was afraid of the dark. I am not. Maybe you should tell us yourself. Easy peasy. Sasha came to me one night and said, "This troop isn't big enough for the both of us, so let's make a bet. Loser gets transferred." So I accepted. If I had known that her plan was, I would have accepted anyway. In short, we had to go into the catacombs at midnight. The one that was left first was the loser. A deal's a deal, as they say. So we set off at night, and the weather almost as if on purpose, was cloudy, windy, and it was about to start raining. Besides, the flashlight barely worked. I felt like someone was watching us. We made it to the abandoned military base. We went down into the basement. Sasha was going ahead of me. We entered some room when Sasha turned off the flashlight and said, "Fear, dear, let's save the battery for the way back." But I was creeped out, said, "Let's get the bet over. Let's get over the bet and have a pull." I saw her smiling the way she does. "What's wrong, Vera?" she said snidely. "Afraid of the dark, huh?" I freaked out and turned off the light and regretted it instantly. Because I felt someone watching me. And the way they did was not nice at all. I was all sweaty, and I turned the lights on, swinging the flashlight around. And Sasha was like, "So soon? Less than a minute?" I yelled at her and stormed to the outside, but the rain just started. I wasn't going back to the camp, so I made my choice and stayed before it was over. And that was the right thing to do, because... Yeah, go on. After she left, I turned on the flashlight. When I was about to leave, I realized that I couldn't stand up. It seemed like my legs were numb, so I put the flashlights on a nearby box and started rubbing my hips, trying to bring them back to life. It was useless. The thought of calling for Vera came to my mind, since she couldn't have gone very far away, and the echo was strong enough in the corridors. But I had just won the bet, so calling for help would be equal forfeiting. So I kept rubbing my legs. Unfortunately, I felt my hands losing control. They were wiggling down my legs, paralyzed as soon as I leaned on the seat. The only thing I was able to do is turn my head. What's up with me? I thought. Am I being paralyzed? Why I have never fallen or hit my head or taken drugs. Why can't I move? I was about to piss my pants. Calm down, Alexandra. Calm down. They'll find you missing the next morning, and Vera knows where you are. They'll find you by lunch at least. Maybe my senses will come back by that time. Breathe. I was sitting and breathing, looking in the dim spot of the light on the wall when they appeared. I heard the stomping little feet at first. The beasts stayed in the shadows, but they got bolder and I could see their red eyes. Who were they? Rats. My flashlight was almost dead, so I could only see their shapes in the darkness. Then, I hadn't felt it, but I saw one of the creatures get up on my knees. The gray creature sat on its back feet and looked into my eyes. Help! I whispered, trying to believe it was a bad dream. But it didn't work as usual. Help! I yelled at the top of my lungs this time. The horrible beast hid away from my voice. All of them, but the one sitting on my knees. It kept on sitting on its back paws, posing its front ones in a prayer and looking at my face. It seemed like the rat was smirking. Help! I yelled, again, realizing deep in my heart that no one was going to come. Oh, I wished I was out there. The stupid bet, the foolish leadership, and what use is any of that if you're going to be eaten alive? I broke into tears helplessly. It was totally out of my plans. The rat looked away, and all of a sudden it was like trying to listen to something. Then it jumped off and the air trembled with the rat's footsteps. The horrible things in a single burst ran away. Damn it. Ran away, and the room drowned in silence, breaking up with my sobbing and some water droplets. Was I saved then? Did my scream scare them? Or had someone heard it and come to my rescue? I burst into laughter with relief, and I was sitting, giggling like an idiot, but I was alive. But the fun was broken with some weird noise coming from the corridor. The noise of 100 of the small feet squeaking rats were closing in slowly. My rescue hadn't come. No, I shouted. No, get lost. But the rats didn't listen. The light of my dying flashlight showed me in a room filling with a swarm of the gray beams. There was something big in the middle of it. The creature got into the beam of light, and I beheld the Rat King. An unusual beast made of 6 or 7 rats sitting on the backs of his comrades, moving its paws and muzzle. The beings brought him upon my knees and scattered all over the room. I didn't see them, but I knew they were there, around me, watching their king like in a theater. I was screaming as hard as I could, trying to scare the monster, but it didn't care much. It was heading to my stomach, slowly, clumsily climbing up my skirt, leaving a trace of pus and urine on it. At the time, I was awkwardly glad my body was numb from my neck down. The Rat King made it to his destination, and I heard my shirt ripping as he bit through it. I gave up calling for help at that moment, only howling and helpless in fear. Soon the monster would settle his hunger, and the rest of the swarm would finish the job. A flash of light blinded me. In the moment I heard a familiar shouting, "Get off! Away with you!" I heard the ripping of fabric, followed by a thud, as the monster was slapped onto the concrete by a childish hand. It was Nastia storming around the room, kicking at the rats and hitting them with a flashlight as if it was a club. Not only, I don't know how it didn't fall apart. The rats formed away, carrying their defeated king, while Nasta hugged my neck close to knocking me out, crying, "Sasha, dearest, don't you pass out, please." I'm fine, I stressed her off. "Can't move, though. Way to go. You saved my life. You are a true hero." No words can explain how happy I was, but the terrible thought came to my mind. Nasta's legs will soon fall asleep, will fail soon, like mine did, and the rats will get us both. And so I commanded, "You got to get out of here. Now run to the camp, bring the first leader you meet here. Got it?" She nodded and rushed out, leaving me alone in the darkness. I wondered if my sanity could take it. As I heard her footsteps fade away, odd rustles caught my ear. Maybe it was my imagination playing a trick on me, but it felt like the rats were surrounding me again. Fortunately, she wasn't about to go far away. Let me tell this part. It's my favorite part. The rain stopped and I got outside and I saw Nasta running somewhere. I caught up to her and headed back to Sasha. Man, you should have seen her. But yes, good thing you didn't. A talking dead in the flesh. Then our princess got back to life after we brought her outside. When her limbs started moving, she freaked out with joy. Boy, I had never heard that much swearing. The pain was unbearable and my sensitivity restored. My whole body ached as if it was pierced by thousands of needles. My stomach was burning. Yeah, Nasta was dogging around Sasha like, "Sasha, you're right? Sasha, don't give up. Sasha, does it hurt?" I shook her shoulders hard and sent her back to the camp for help. She made a couple of steps and returned like I won't leave her. Thanks to our beauty, we couldn't settle her down. No, thanks to our beauty, we could settle her down. So we took Sasha's clothes off. All of it? Ouch! I'll do the same thing to you if you don't shut up. I'm good. And off to the lake. That's where we used her shirt as bandages in order to wrap her wounds. After we cleaned Sasha from... Put the details away, please. Alright, it's almost over anyway. Yeah, we made it back to the camp where we slipped into our couches as if nothing happened. No adult knew about this, of course. Even Nasta kept her mouth shut. She was way awesome. Was it for real? It was. Want to see the scars? You? Sasha pulls up her shirt. Dang, it's too dark in here. I can't see a thing. Neither can I. Well, they are too small to see. Try touching them instead. Watch your hands, four-eyed freak. I just wanted to touch. You can touch Petrov next time you see him in the sun. Keep your hands off her. Okay. Hey, it's 5 till midnight. Time to call the Queen of Spades. Uh-oh. This, I don't think is going to be good. Come on. Is there a click thing? Oh, there it is. Midnight. Come ye, the Queen of Spades. 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 She has come. Psyopa rushes ahead and attacks the Queen. She puts him on the floor with a roundhouse kick to the head. Psyopa falls down, dropping the mirror. The Queen comes in, illuminated by the fire, and turns out to be Eleonora Androniva. Eleonora Androniva, is that you? No, I am the Queen of Spades. I have come to take your souls. So take away your souls. Quit joking like that, Eleonora. Takes off her coat and touches his waist. What a tough guy. He'll live. Huh? Yeah, it's alright. Sleep. What are you guys doing here? Telling scary stories. Scary stories, huh? Want to hear the one I know? Yes! Okay. Back in the day, I worked in a camp. They all went to camp. Something bad happened to me. One summer night, a group of girls gathered in a music club, just like you. They were going to summon the Queen of Spades and, just like you, ended up telling scary stories. The youngest girl was a daughter of the nurse who was working in the camp. She just finished the second year of elementary school. They took her to the club with them for no reason. Eventually, they ran out of stories, so one of the girls came up to trick the poor thing. When the last story was over, she sneaked behind her and grabbed the poor girl by her legs. The little girl fainted was out cold, while the others were bursting with laughter. Of course, watching someone creeped out was enjoyable, had it not only gone bad. The harmless trick caused her to have a heart attack. If only they would call for the nurse. Well, you get the idea. Panic clouded their minds. They pulled the body to a nearby forest and hid it under fallen leaves. Even forgot to check her pulse. They hid the body and left. The police were looking for the body for 3 days. They wouldn't have found her if it wasn't for the dream the nurse had the night before. She saw her daughter in a dream. Her daughter led her to the crayon where her body was hidden. Once the nurse woke up, she ran to the crayon and found her daughter's body. The police had given up on the investigation. The report said it was an accident. She is dead after all. Why would they waste why should we waste our time? The police thought. The nurse could do nothing but and buried her daughter and returned to her work. You were right. As you know, pioneers always start a bonfire on the last day of their shift. This shift wasn't an exception. When the fire was at its highest, a horrifying howl burst the pioneers' ears. A girl sprang out of the fire, covered in flames. Oh, how she cried. They managed to put the fire out, but it was too late. They couldn't save her. The burns had been too severe. She died the next day. Was she one of those? Yes, she was. One of those, the one who designed the trick. What about the others? The others were found too. Eventually, they found the second one in the same crayon without arms, with her heart cut out. The third girl drowned in an old well behind the camp warehouse. And the last one? Her body was found in the abandoned bomb shelter. She was gnawed to death by rats. Hold on. Our stories. Vera, Sasha, Lisa, Olya? This cannot be. Tell me. Well, well, young man, save your voice. You are not trying to wake the dead, are you? I don't believe this. You were just messing with me, aren't you? Suit yourself. But the story isn't over yet. As you can see, the nurse murdered them. And everyone in the camp suspected her. How did she find out who killed her daughter? The same way she found out where her daughter's body was. Her daughter told her in a dream. She wouldn't lie, don't you think? The nurse got fired from the camp for no reason. And so I had to look for new work. Guess where the nurse works now? Here? Wrong. She works in a school. She sees the same nightmare every night. She sees her daughter and the girls who she killed. But sometimes she sees guests in the dream. Like her child, dead? Attaboy. It makes no sense. I am alive, and so is Vera. And Styopa, we have known each other since elementary school. We have played sports together. Really? What is the last name of your coach? What is the name of your first teacher? I forgot. Let me out of here, please! Is he buying it? Breathe out, Stas. Dang, it's not funny. You almost got me there. Fine. Rise from the dead, Styopa. I can see you smiling. Uh-huh. How did you know about the stories? You weren't even here. That's a secret. Some secret it is. She has definitely had a transmitter in her pocket. What a smart girl. Alright, it's time to go home, guys. But it's late. Can we stay here till morning? No way. So let's go home. Maybe we can come again tomorrow? Of course. Oh, that was actually pretty good. Wow, that took an hour. Okay, guys, I want to thank you all for watching. Sorry it took so long, but this was the 3rd episode. Took place during Christmas time, so I guess it works, right? I will see you guys tomorrow when we do another game. Have a good one.